Hi, my name is Tim Kitchen and welcome to my EdTech Reflection video. A little bit about myself. I'm a teacher in Calgary in Canada. I'm the learning leader for technology at our school. Proud father of a boy and a girl coming into their teenage years, and very excited to be coming to the end of my master's. The program at Boise here has been an amazing experience, and I also started off at two other institutions that you'll hear about later in this reflection video, and have come to the end of an interesting road. So I hope you enjoy my reflections and experiences, and I appreciate you checking it out.
In our studio we have Tim Kitchen, learning leader for technology and Google certified teacher. Tim is approaching the end of his master's in educational technology and is here today to share his journey. Tim, what made you want to pursue your master's in educational technology?
Well, about 10 years ago, I had the opportunity to join the first online high school in Calgary, CBE Learn, and I have a tendency just to kind of jump straight in, and I didn't have a huge amount of experience at that point, and I learned a lot of high-end issues with Dreamweaver and using some video, but I didn't really have the background or the any of the readings or the big picture, so I wanted to be able to put that into a more global perspective.
I understand that Boise State was not the only university that you attended. Tell us about what led you to Boise State.
Boise State, yes. I actually started out here in Calgary with the online high school. We had a reciprocal program with the U of C, and we did a lot of amazing programs with students, student learning, personalizing learning, giving students lots of choice about what they actually wanted to do, showing their learning in lots of different ways. But then unfortunately, the first assignment that we had at the U of C was to write paper 12-point font, New Times Roman, APA style. And there didn't seem to be any negotiating with it. So I bucked down and wrote my paper, and realizing that that's part of the graduate thing to be able to write in that way. And then it came to the second paper or second assignment, and it was also writing a paper 12-point font, New Times Roman, but except this time the bonus was it was twice as long. So I talked to my professor and negotiated doing something a little bit different. I actually produced a video conferencing course for teachers who are trying to do it with their students, and that worked out fairly well. But the final comment on my paper was, if you're going to pursue your master's, you must realize that you have to jump through some hoops, and whether you like it or not. So that kind of put me off the U of C, so I moved to Athabasca, who has a great reputation for online learning. I came to realize, though, after the first course that was based on the mid-90s when they started, and a lot of their courses were text-based, lots of scrolling, words, no videos, no images. But I did get an opportunity to do an independent study, and that was good. We got to do a research paper on basically looking at desktop video conferencing. And the evaluation that we came up with actually got published in iRoddle, which is the International Review for Distance Learning, and that was very positive. But the next course, again, was scrolling text and outdated articles. So I then found a colleague who was doing their master's at Boise and did some research, and it looked like a much better fit for me.
What effect has taking your master's in educational technology had on your professional career?
I'm glad you asked that question, Avin. Basically, the position I'm in now, I'm the learning leader for technology at our school, was based a lot on the work that I've been doing through my master's, particularly at Boise State. I've recently been asked to present at a Google conference that's happening in Edmonton later this month. So, and have the opportunity to do some work outside of school as well because of the skills that I've developed through my master's. So it's been a great experience.
An online master's seems like a very solitary pursuit. Do you feel isolated pursuing your career, your degree online?
Yeah, that's interesting. Actually, despite having an online course, professors are actually a lot more accessible online. When you ask a question, when you email them, you tend to get a much quicker response than you might in a traditional. The students that are in the course are, because everyone's on at different times, there's usually someone there who can help with questions as well, so that collaboration is there. Whereas in a traditional program, you go in to the lecture hall maybe for 3 hours and then you maybe don't see them for a week. You're actually a lot more connected in this way. And of course, there's lots of people as well that are supporting and helping me, including my wife and my kids, my principal at my current school, and all the great professors at Boise State.
Thank you for sharing your journey with us today, Tim. Please stay tuned as Tim shares some of his headlights at Boise.
Thank you. I'll get those headlights out.
Prior to starting at Boise State, I was enrolled at Athabasca University. And during that time, one of my favorite courses that I got to do there was called Evaluating Desktop Conferencing Products. And this course was set up very much like an independent study. I worked with my colleague Doug Burton, and the two of us did an evaluation on online video conferencing products. We started with about 12 products, narrowed it down to 4, and of those 4, DimDim, Illuminate, TalkBox, and View, we came up with a very detailed report. One of the amazing things about this, of course, was actually being published in iROTL, which is the International Review of Research in Open and Distance Education. And it was a real eye-opener what's involved. I had never had the experience of being published before and hadn't gone through that whole process of what it takes to get a paper ready. Part of the process was going back and forth and actually evaluating each of the different products, taking it down again to the 4 that we came up with, and then coming up with some very concise summaries of them all. So one of the featured things that we did was we had to look at specific criteria for evaluating. Then we did a comparison between the 4, looking at, of course, these items on the left: licensing cost, maximum participants, if they have a whiteboard, if they have web tool integration. And then we did numeric analysis from there and gave a summary. Again, extraordinary learning experience being able to be published in the iROTL magazine, and one of my first favorite starts in educational technology. Alright, for my next project, I'd like to talk about the inquiry project that we did in EdTech 502. For this project, we did a web quest that had to be set up on a website and connected to the EdTech server. For this project, we had 5 different components: the introduction, the task, the process, evaluation, and conclusion. And we had to have corresponding navigation. This start page helps to set things up and let the learner know what it is that they're going to be doing. I've also embedded some media here. And then I've got navigation that helps them move through in a linear fashion. So we get to the introduction, where it goes over some interesting facts over here about tourism, gives them an introduction to the project, and says that they can do things in a variety of ways. So they're not stuck doing just one way of presenting their material. Then we go over the actual task itself and the requirements. Noticing as we're going through, all these have been checked through the WC3, both for CSS and XHTML. In the process area, again, I've given some kind of interesting do you know stuff over to the side, and some extra links, and then some links for them to do some research on their specific project. And then they're looking at the different aspects of the project, their accountability, preparing, marketing, presentation, and rubric. And this last page is the evaluation, and this is where they have the rubric, and it's really clear for the student what they need to do in order to get full marks. And then finally the conclusion. Well, I'm very excited. I'm going to be presenting at the Google Apps for Education conference in just over a week's time, and that's something that I am fairly sure I will want to include as one of my artifacts. So this is just acting at this point as a placeholder for that new artifact to be put in there. Well, it's hard to believe that this journey is coming to an end after close to 6 years. It will be 4 different universities and a wealth of learning experiences. I'm finally going to graduate with my Master's in Educational Technology, which I'm exceptionally happy about. If I think about some of the main takeaways from this whole journey, it's certainly one thing I realize now is that I don't have to have all the answers, but I do have the skills to find the answers if I need them. And secondly, a lot of those answers are found in the network of formal and informal educators that I've managed to connect with and work with. So again, big thank you to my wife, who's so amazingly patient, to my kids who I haven't been available to as much as I'd like, to my professors at Boise State and all the support team there, and to my own staff at my school who have supported and helped with my program as I've gone through it. A big yahoo from Calgary, Canada. Can't believe it's done. Good luck, everyone.